What's up, Horror Nights and family, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Crystal, and on this channel we talk about everything horror. I also have a podcast where I go a little bit more in depth on horror films. I also started recording the episodes of the podcast. You can find that on the playlist right here on YouTube. Also, if you guys listen to the podcast on iTunes, I really encourage you to leave me a review. I'm trying to get to 10 new ones by the end of the year, so I'm counting on you. Also, make sure you guys are following me on my socials on Instagram and Twitter because I upload new content on there every single day. I also have been working on my Patreon channel, so I'm so excited to be able to share that with you guys much sooner than you'd think. So definitely stay tuned for that. And make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel because I put new videos out every single Wednesday and a new podcast episode out every other Monday. So obviously you guys can tell from the title and the date of this video that obviously I'm uploading it on a Friday because we just found out that Dexter is freaking coming back. I have no words. Actually, I have a lot of words, which we're going to discuss in a little bit. But shout out to my best friend Steven for letting me know that the season was coming back. So we're going to go over a little bit of the details of some of the things that I've been reading about it. And then we're going to get into some of my theories and my opinions about the show. So let's get into the video. So Showtime actually ordered a limited season revival of Dexter. And of course we have Michael C. Hall coming back to play the infamous serial killer that he portrayed 2006 to 2013. And of course we get the longtime showrunner Clyde Phillips coming back. Thank God. So the premium cable network ordered a 10-part run that will go into production 2021 and hopefully be out in fall 2021. So there will be spoilers throughout this video, so if you haven't finished watching every single episode of Dexter, I would encourage you to do so and then of course come back to my video. So to refresh your memory from the last season of Dexter, it ended with Dexter faking his own death. And of course now living under an alias in Oregon as a lumberjack after his sister was shot and was in a coma. And of course having sent Harrison, his son, and Hannah, his love interest, to Argentina. So Showtime actually expressed that they would bring back Dexter if writers could find a creative way to bring it back. And well, apparently they have. So at the time of recording this video, no other details have really come to light about this. So let's move on to some of my theories. So first, was I a fan of the ending? Yes and no. I understand why Dexter had to make the decisions that he did, but when the last scene came across my cell phone or my computer at the time that I was watching it, I was a little dumbfounded. I was waiting for something else to happen and then the screen went black. I kind of sat there for a little moment and was like, what? Huh? I didn't want Dexter to leave behind everything that he had done for the past few seasons, but I understood that why it had to end that way, but there was definitely some hope that it would be returning, and of course now it is returning. So another thing I want to talk about is throughout the seasons of Dexter, his father frequently visited him as a ghost. So my theory is that Deb will now take the place of the father ghost and sort of be his conscience in a way. I'm also hopefully looking forward to seeing the characters of Quinn and Angel Batista come back. And of course, as you guys all know, many of the characters were killed off before the last season, like Maria LaGuardia. So I'll be interested to see what happens. So the next thing I want to talk about is my prediction that Dexter will finally have to pay for the crimes that he's committed. If you guys remember in season 2, he was almost caught, but then remember what happened with that. Even in the last few seasons, they kind of hinted at it, but then they never really talked about it again. Another theory that I have is that a new killer is on the loose, and I feel like Dexter is going to come back and will sort of be pardoned by Miami PD for the crimes that he committed in order to find this killer. And maybe not pardoned publicly, but maybe privately, depending on who these new characters might be or who the old characters might be. It'll kind of bring us back to that whole cat and mouse game that we know of Dexter so well. Maybe he's trying to find this killer. We also have to assume that Michael C. Hall wouldn't come back to this character if he didn't think it was worth it. And he's also probably trying to redeem himself after all of those crazy memes that took over the internet when the final season premiered. My third theory is that Dexter will actually be killed in these last 10 episodes. So maybe if there is this new serial killer, maybe he is fascinated with the work of Dexter and in a way is sort of mimicking him. Maybe this new killer is paralyzing people, taking them to a kill room, wrapping them in plastic, and then murdering them. So maybe Dexter will find himself in this serial killer's new room surrounded by all the victims from the previous season, and Dexter will now find himself wrapped in plastic. Because in a way, Dexter is also a murderer, so the serial killer would be killing serial killers. Another thing I'd be curious to see is what they're going to do with Harrison, who is Dexter's son. So if I did the math correctly, I believe that Harrison would now be around 12 years old. So I was reading on Reddit that a few people thought maybe Dexter's son Harrison would inherit the traits of a serial killer. I do understand that with, Hollywood magic, they can make him older, but hopefully they stick to the time period of 2013 between the time period of now, which is 2020, but then when the show premieres, it'll be 2021. And of course, we all know who Clyde Phillips is. And will he be able to fix what Scott Buck did in the last few seasons of Dexter? Maybe they'll pull a Halloween 2018 and just forget about all those seasons. Another thing I was reading on Reddit that a lot of people were thinking that Dexter would maybe wake up from some horrible nightmare. Maybe those last few seasons didn't actually happen. I think that would be kind of cheesy, and I feel like the writers of Dexter, especially Clyde Phillips, would definitely have something a little bit more creative than that. Another thing that we really don't know either is we don't know how long Dexter was actually a lumberjack for. I mean, he must have been a lumberjack for some time because if you guys remember in that final scene, he did have a beard, but maybe he only lasted a little bit longer, or maybe his dark passenger came out when he found out that one of his coworkers was actually murdering some, I don't know, who knows? Who knows what's actually gonna happen? I do have a feeling he will make his way back to Miami PD though. Another thing I was thinking about, which just makes me so happy, is we all know that Dexter is the narrator for each of the episodes. So when it finally does premiere, what do you guys think is going to be his first line? Is it going to go back to the first episode of the season when he says, "Tonight's the night"? Or is he going to say, like, "Hello, old friends," or "Hello, dark passenger"? I'm really excited to see and hear what that opening line is going to be. I am a huge Dexter fan. Honestly, if I can remember correctly, I'm pretty sure Dexter was the first season that I watched from beginning to end, other than shows that I would watch with my parents or something. But I think Dexter was actually the first show that I ever watched that I myself had an interest in. And I remember I was in college and someone was talking about Netflix. Now, remember when I was in college, it was at least 5-6 years ago at this point. And someone was talking about Netflix and how they watched Dexter on Netflix. And I was like, "What's Netflix? What is that?" And they're like, "Oh, you can watch this really cool show." And they were telling me about the show and I was really interested in it. So I remember signing up for Netflix because Dexter was on it because I wanted to watch it. I could honestly talk about Dexter all day, but I wanted to keep this video short and sweet and just talk to you guys about my theories and of course announce it if you guys haven't already heard. But Dexter is returning. So let me know your thoughts on Dexter returning. Do you agree with some of my theories? Do you think I'm totally off? What are some of your theories and opinions about the show returning? Let me know. And of course, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.